Hi, I'm Kim Eddleston from Northeastern University, and I'm really happy to be here today with Doug Baumel, who's an expert in family business consulting with Continuity Consulting right here in Boston, and has just written a great book on deconstructing conflict through all his years of experience working with hundreds of family businesses, helping them to thrive and survive. So tell me.
Yes.
What is the biggest issue facing family firms, in your opinion?
Well, obviously, since I wrote a book exclusively about conflict in family businesses, that's what I believe. We believe, as a firm, we believe that the most important critical success factor for any family business or for families that share wealth or significant assets is their ability to manage conflict together. And you can understand that by thinking through, well, what makes a family business different than a non-family business? And the answer is the family business is the one type of business structure with by far the highest degree of interdependence among the stakeholders. Family business stakeholders are interdependent emotionally, obviously, professionally, economically, socially, generationally, legally, and the list goes on and on. And anytime you have a system that has a large degree of interdependence, you have a high potential for conflict. And you can, a good example of that is, imagine you're on a deserted island. If you're alone on a deserted island, there's nobody with whom you're going to compete for resources. There's nobody with whom is going to challenge your values and your beliefs. Nobody with whom you have a grudge. Nobody who's trying to exert power over you. But start adding people to that island, and all of those dynamics will happen. And therein is the reason why conflict, or the potential for conflict, is really woven into the very fabric of a family business.
So can you give me an example of how conflict is built into that family business, Sam?
Yeah, so we're here at the Innovation Through Generations conference at Northeastern. It's a great conference.
Thank
you. Yeah, terrific. Well done. And one of the speakers really struck a chord with me. It actually reminded me of my own experience and my own decades of experience with my own family business and challenges with that I faced. But he talked about innovation. He talked about having good ideas that he tried to get through the structure that he was in, the family business, and get it through his father. And I think he had siblings and cousins in the business. And the way I see this, through the lens of, well, where's conflict and how do you manage it? The way I see this is, innovation is disruptive. And when you're in a fragile environment, which is a family business, and when I say fragile, I think of, if you've ever seen a Jenga tower, those blocks you pull out.
Good analogy.
It's a great analogy to think about the fact that a family business system is just primed, locked, and loaded for conflict. And anything that disrupts it or tips the balance a bit has the potential for generating active conflict. So somebody has a great idea, right? Entrepreneurial behavior in and of itself means if you're going to be a good entrepreneur, you're going to not pay a lot of attention to a lot of the rules that exist.
No, you're challenging the status
You're
quo.
challenging the status quo.
Conflict.
Right. And in a system like that, when entrepreneurs break the rules, that's how they make advances and that's how they innovate. So I'm a family business consultant, and if you've ever worked with a family business consultant, as I had because I was on the other side of the table for many years, family business consultants are really good at putting in structure, recommending policies and rules and defining roles and boundaries to those roles. That's great. But what's the unintended consequence? The unintended consequence of a system with a lot of rules and structure, where's the innovation going to happen? So the trick is, and so these rules, let's talk about the rules for a minute. These rules are so-called best practices. We believe that there is no best practice for any one family business. There are good ideas, and those good ideas are derived from research and other families. But the best practice for any family that we're working with hasn't been written yet. And maybe today's creative solution to their specific problem is tomorrow's best practice. So if you're in a situation where innovation is crucial based on where the company is in its life cycle and whatnot, and I would say innovation is always crucial, but sometimes it's more crucial than at others. But you want to keep that entrepreneurial spark alive. You want innovation. And if you're not the founder, if you're the next generation or the generation after that, to be aware of the fact that in order to manage conflict, rules and policies and structure are necessary. But as you're designing those structures and those policies, have an eye out for, well, how is innovation and entrepreneurism going to break through that system? Because it must.
So you're actually saying sometimes conflict is good.
Conflict is good. Conflict means you're challenging the status quo. But it's how you manage that and not let it get out of hand. That is what separates successful family businesses from family businesses that don't make it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Doug, for
My
your
pleasure.
advice.
Thank you.
And hopefully you've helped other family businesses out there. Thank you very much.